back on the air with Eric and Robin Gagnon. We're the restaurant brokers, and we'd like to thank Today's Restaurant, the food service industry newspaper, one of our sponsors. Today's Restaurant is the trade newspaper for the food service industry in Georgia and Florida, and has positioned itself as a total marketing solution to sell a service or product for the restaurant industry. So we are joined today by an illustrious guest panel who are focusing on technology and the restaurant business. So we are going to come back from our break and just discuss the idea of who is this technology for? Because what occurs to me is the adaptation of the technology that's out there only for millennials, or is this across the board? And Larry, we had you right before the break. You were telling us about Red Connect and savings and opportunities in that arena. So why don't you kick this segment off by sharing some information from that perspective?
Well, I want to hear the cost. I've been hanging on for the whole break. Tell us how much it costs, please.
Thank you. No, it's so interesting. My father's 80, and he now does most of his shopping online, and he looks for restaurants online, and he's using his mobile phone to decide where he's going to eat and and compare pricing and compare specials. And I think for a lot of people who where mobility might be an issue, I mean, like physical mobility, the cloud is a wonderful thing, and the opportunity for him to be exposed to wonderful restaurants in the area and great places to spend time with friends and family. I don't think this is just for millennials at all. I mean, I believe that the mobile technology is so pervasive now. We all carry our mobile phones with us everywhere, or most of us do. There's a number of studies that show people, actually experience degrees of depression when they're separated from their mobile device. And so I think this is for young people. I think it's for people in, middle-aged people, and for older people. I really think the cloud provides tremendous advantage for all consumers.
Okay, Jeffrey, what do you think? Is this a kid's game or is it for everyone?
Well, I have two different answers, and my first answer will kind of focus on the restaurant owner. We certainly see a sweet spot when we're selling to restaurants, in that generally the younger the owner, the better the understanding they have of the technology and the applications of it. And so I have better success with younger restaurant owners, and they get it. The next part of the answer is that when we're dealing with the consumers, we always get the question of what if people don't have cell phones, or what if they don't have text messaging? And my answer, and I have data to back it up, is that we have over 99% of the people that join the wait list at our restaurants are giving their phone numbers to the restaurant, so they don't have an issue giving their phone number away. And most of them have text messaging, and we do offer voice calls as well. And so we're absolutely seeing almost 100% adoption rate, and people comfortable giving their phone numbers to the restaurant. And so it is it's a universal thing for people using text messages and cell phones, but we're still seeing the sweet spot in the restaurant owners buying the technology in the younger age range.
Oh, that's really interesting. And Dee, I want to switch gears just a little bit because we talked about online reputation somewhat as we started the show, but I want to ask you if the online reputation of a business, is that something where the big brands and the franchises have an advantage with social media and review sites, or is that where actually a small operator can sort of create a niche for himself and be successful?
Well, that's a great question. In the world of big brands and big fast casuals and fast food, there's certainly more resources allocated to this, so they can monitor all those 40 plus sites that there's a presence in, and the individual business owner certainly has no time and not the same level of resources that these bigger players have. However, what they do have is that authenticity of I'm the owner and I'm the person writing to you, not some social media manager that I hired to do this. So I have a personal stake in this. Let me tell you my story as the business owner. I think the answer for these smaller operators is to pick one or two of the biggest drivers of their business, and it could be Yelp, it could be Facebook, it could be a combination, where they spend most of their time, they build that audience. Because the bigger brands will have the advertising budget to get a million followers on Facebook. Well, if you're that small business owner, you don't need a million followers. You just want, every single customer that comes into your restaurant, and that could be an audience of 20,000 people or 40,000 people over the years. You don't need to reach a million people to make your business successful on social media. So I think the advantage of a small business owner is that authenticity, is the fact that it really is, mom and pop. It really is me that is replying to you, and I think that's a really big advantage that big brands just cannot and will never have.
Larry, we know where we've been. The internet itself, email. All the new things from dial-up to high-speed internet. We know where we are today. We just discussed that in most of the panel today. But where are we going next? Where's the technology in the restaurant industry going next? What should we look at the next 3 to 10 years?
Well, we believe we're going to be a real-time world. That loyalty systems today, for example, are largely batch process. You learn something about somebody, you search your database, and then you send things out. And we see all of that going to real time. That the restaurateurs will know who their customers are when they come in. They'll know their consumption habits. They'll know their preferences. They'll know what they ate last week, last month, last year. And they'll be able to customize what they present to that customer in real time as they walk into the store. And then similarly, the point of sale will become mobile, and people will be buying as they're moving through the store, and they won't have to go to a specific queue to pass a credit card to somebody in a specific way. And then finally, in the back of the house, it will move entirely to the cloud. And owners who today feel like they have to stand over the back of their cash register all day long will have freedom and will be able to attend their daughter's soccer game, and they'll still know what's happening in their store with real-time analytics and monitoring, and they'll know exactly what they're selling. They'll know who came into work. And then finally, performance and recipes and productivity will improve because of that transparency and because of the cloud.
Good. I was really scared you were going to tell me that we're going to have our food made out of 3D printers. So I'm really happy to hear that that's not the case.
Well, they're doing that now,
I know.
Print food from a 3D printer, and it's quite good.
What I came through my mind as you were saying that is that vision that everybody has of Cheers, that corner bar where you walk in and everybody knows your name, and as soon as you walk in, the bartender has got your particular drink sitting there on the counter, and he's already called back to the cook to say, bring me this or bring me that. And it's as if that technology is taking us full circle to that idea. We're out of time for this segment, but it has truly been fascinating. You're listening to Eric and Robin Gagnon. We're the Restaurant Brokers, and we'll return after the break with Restaurant Reality. That's where we talk about the tough topics in this industry, including the 4-letter words, the F word fail and the S word sell. Again, this is Eric and Robin Gagnon. We're the Restaurant Brokers. We'll be back just after the break.